Hello and welcome to round one back nine coverage of the Waco Annual Charity Open presented by Prodigy Disc. We've got big Uli commentary bringing you action from the featured group here in Waco, Texas. Myself, Jeremy Koling, joined by my buddy, Paul Ulibarri. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, it is really good. And it's going good for these guys on our card here. Simon Lizotte, -4. Jeremy Koling, yourself, -1.
Yeah.
Kevin Jones, -1. Calvin, -1. Looks like you guys got a nice little battle.
Good's relative. We're all definitely under par. But as you can see, the scores in the front nine are hot, as you can always expect them to be on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We're trying to make up some room on the back nine, or make up some ground actually, rather. And we're gonna start on hole 10, par 4, 591 feet. This hole would fall into many players' dream 18, I would guess. I love this hole. I think it's a fantastic par 4. You can get aggressive off the tee and get somewhere around this range here where it's just left with almost a jump putt approach. But most players are gonna throw a fairway driver off the middle. Just try to avoid skipping too far left. Anything right and you will have some sort of approach. Simon Lizotte is not laying up though. Yes, he is. Never mind.
That's still gettable from there for him.
For him it is.
Honestly.
That's like a super pro par 3 from that tee pad because he actually landed on the short tee box.
That's like if he were to throw it and you were playing old Tiger Woods, you hit that button a bunch.
Yeah, the turbo
and then
button.
he could get there.
Mm-hmm. And Kevin pushing that left side. If this skips left, okay, it doesn't. It just hits the edge of the fairway, which should be good.
And this is such a specific shot because you want to try to hyzer flip something down the middle. It's really hard to fit an hyzer approach. Sidearm is actually a really good play if you got the distance. But with that hyzer flip for a righty backhand, it kind of penetrates you left, and it's easy to get down that hill on the left, which I think is where it makes this pretty difficult.
Yeah, it can be difficult. Calvin going with Star Destroyer, and that is obliterated. That is, and you can tell how fast that was thrown because it actually skipped on this grass, and this grass is not so good for skipping right now. It's pretty thick. It's not super long, but it's just not producing many skips.
Oh, he's at the other tee pad even.
Yeah, he's like literally on the tee box.
If he doesn't hit that, he's there.
Yeah, he's inside the circle.
Wow.
Yeah, he threw a great throw, just barely caught the edge.
Did you just throw a stick?
Yeah, there's somebody saying something to me, and I said, hey, take this.
No, Jerm.
I can't wait to put a compilation of me completely misfiring. It's just like my least favorite thing at the time and one of my favorite things afterwards. I laugh because it hurts.
That's not a very good reaction for Kev.
Yeah, bouncing off to the right, Anheuser skip. It's going to be a tricky
it's right there,
putt.
though.
And he'll have that to save the par. It's a little bit longer than I'd like after 2 throws.
Tricky.
And yeah, and I thought that was going to be a little bit closer to the pin. When I got down there, I was surprised to see that it made it about 28 feet and actually a little bit in the woods. And Calvin, look at just that drive set him up for the easiest short approach with that
I
Rhino.
didn't even realize he got that far.
Just
Whoa.
crushed it.
It seems like Simon's played this shot a lot today.
Yeah, he really has. He's had a lot of really tricky Anheuser angles.
Good putt.
And I was actually really fortunate to have a big open window there. There was if I'd been a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, I would not have had a good look at it. But
And an inch low would have been pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Good observation.
Thank you.
Kevin in for the par left side, and that's good. And Kevin, after the 2 over start, 3 down in the last 5 holes, kind of getting things going a little bit.
That was a tricky putt there for Simon, having to straddle out a little embankment on the backside there. If he misses, bad things could happen. But
And missing that tee shot, if he kicked left there, I mean, that's bogey at best. So he's actually kind of fortunate to get away with, he never really was in good position. Taking the par, walking away, Calvin walking away with the only birdie of the group. Hole 11, par 3, 279 feet, just on top of this little mound here. The trick is getting past these trees right here. If you can pass those, either left side or right side, and get onto this hillside, it is a huge bonus because this is a really demanding little par 3, and I really like it. I think it's a fun hole.
absolutely. And we mentioned on the front nine how a lot of these holes, once the tournament starts, it seems like they shrink. This is definitely one of those holes where
Just the worst kick. Calvin kicking straight into the woods. Really beautiful shot, but you just have to miss left or right. You just can't. I mean, those trees are just scattered all down the middle.
Simon not giving himself words of encouragement.
I think that is Simon giving himself encouraging words. Like
Oh, man.
That's the only way he talks to himself. He never tells himself how good he is.
That's true. That's our job.
Yeah, exactly. He's amazing. Look at this shot. Kevin just buttery. And that's exactly what you see. A little bit of hyzer going into that hillside. You're going to see an anhyzer skip and a little roll almost every time. And this is just a thing of beauty from Kevin. And just narrowly avoiding the same tree that Calvin hit. And you can see there's a big difference between those two results. And again, I'm trusting my Eagle L. And just, once again, just a little bit left today on so many of these forehand shots.
Kind of a nice result, honestly, for missing that far left, though. Kicking out to the right.
Yeah. That is going to test Calvin's nerves. That is about the edge of the circle, putting to the slightly elevated basket on top of a mound.
It must be really hard if it's going to test Calvin's nerves.
Oh, of course. He's nerve tester supreme.
Because it's Simon's shot you were talking about.
Oh, right. Of course. I didn't know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Try to get a little greedy there, but if you hit metal from below the hill, it usually rolls down, so kind of actually happy that I just airballed it. He's the only person I know that shrugs off made putts. I mean, sloppiest par in history, huh? Well, par is a par. Calvin illustrating that right there.
Whoa.
Yeah, it always makes me a little nervous when I see players do that, but I don't know if he's ever missed it.
I just played a tournament
I would never do that.
a few weeks ago where a guy did it and he completely airballed. And it was on a high rise.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, hole 12. What a beautiful, fun hole. Again, another one of these holes that was previously a par 5. They've just changed the par. That is it. The hole is the exact same as it's always been, but it's one stroke harder now, I guess. So 609 feet, sidearm drive. You will maybe see some backhand turnovers, but the point is just to kind of get off to the left side of the fairway is a better angle to attack the second shot over that mound. This is a hole you're not going to see many birdies at all.
Here's Kevin going with that D2. He's not sure about the result. It looked like he might have pushed it a bit too far, which is really easy to do on this, especially with a faster disc. The more power you put on it, the faster it's going to get to that edge, and it's really not that far to get to the corner.
You have to have a lot of angle on this thing early. Calvin definitely pushing this to the back edge. All matter of where it kicks, and I think it stays out in the woods. That brings birdie completely out of the
What's
equation.
going on here?
Simon is going to go backhand.
Is that a fairway driver?
Getting great breaks, though.
He is getting great breaks. And like you said, you have to kind of go with a slightly slower disc. I'd love to line up a Wraith on this one and flip it up, but there's just not enough space the way that this hole is angled. So I'm going with the Big Jerm Thunderbird. And that's a little bit higher than I normally like to throw it, but
But if you did throw the flippy wraith, you could get, if you threw it perfect, you could get way, way down the fairway.
And we've seen Eagle do it in the past, get just 100 feet past where any of those landed. And look at Simon going backhand roller, super aggressive mode, and
another good kick.
And rolling up the hill, and that is a phenomenal result for such a wildly aggressive second shot. It's going to be tricky to get to the green from there, but he got well down the fairway. And that was a good-looking shot from Kevin, and the unfortunate kick off to the right is going to make that approach pretty tricky.
Anything that kicks right, though, I feel like you have a better chance than when it kicks left.
Okay. It really just depends on how far back. Like, I'd rather be on the left side of this fairway here because this is a very tricky approach.
Right.
I'm trying to go inside that white tree, and I just hit it instead. And now I'm furthest out after 2 shots. Going with it, AVR X3. And this is too far to the right for my liking, and that's exactly why there's a lot of things in between that 25-foot putt in the basket.
Yeah. You might have to do the Kevin Jones tap-in turbo.
Yeah, you're not going to see that from me, buddy. And look at, you just talked about this in the other hole, and Simon once again going awkward, back to the basket, driver stance.
Hole.
No one does it better than that. That is absolutely incredible for that angle to go with a high-speed driver from 200 feet. Really showing how difficult that throw really was.
When I do that with a mid-range or a driver or something like that, it's like last chance. It's like all hope is lost.
Yeah, it's like
there's one gap.
Right. Kevin getting a little frisky from 100 feet. That's going to be a tap-in par. Really just feels like a birdie on this one, honestly. It's just such a hard hole to get there into.
Yeah, I've kind of decided this year to play it as a 4, and then if you get up there, you know, I want to go sidearm, and I play it to like 60.
Yeah,
and
sure.
then
That's good.
If you get the bonus, then sweet. But it's just such a difficult. Look at this.
That is the shortest slow-mez in the history of Jomez Productions, ladies and gentlemen. 28 feet, but it was a bit awkward. I was pretty happy to have that one land in the basket.
Beautiful putt.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Idlewild Open champion, Kevin Jones.
What a big moment that was for Kevin to get his first tour win. Been there so many times. Congratulations once again to Kevin Jones. Hole 13, par 4. This is the locals starting hole, hole 1 for them. It's hole 13 for us. 555 feet, and there are just so many different options on this hole. You can go backhand driver down the middle. There's ways to throw rollers, but we are going with a slight tailwind, but it's more of like a left to right crosswind.
Kevin going sidearm turn over
down
here.
Down the middle, and he annihilates this. And it hits that tree 15 feet high. That was one of the more impressive sidearms I've seen, really from anyone. That was a beautiful shot. And Simon.
It's crazy how they're like taking down the middle route. I like to take that left sidearm route and then hit the first available and scramble from there.
The first available, yeah, sure.
The one that you're doing here? Yeah. See, I would rather not do that. I like to hit that middle one. Very nice tee shot, though.
And really, the only objective is just finding the way that you feel most comfortable with getting past that first row of trees. And I mean, by that first row, there's like 12 different trees that are all prominent in size that your disc can hit.
And Calvin decides that his best way to hit the fairway is to put the sunglasses back on.
Well, I mean, not only are glasses good for the sun, they're actually good to protect your eyes from the wind. Pro tip.
Oh.
Simon just inside the circle, a little short with that approach. And mind you, 4 drives, none of them hit any trees besides Calvin's, which was going a blistering 100 miles an hour.
Kevin's.
And Calvin's. And Simon was the first up. We all outdrove Simon. I'm going to let that one go, but I think that's kind of cool. You're sitting here like, that doesn't matter. And you're right. You're absolutely right. It doesn't matter.
That matters.
That matters. Calvin's approach
4-footer.
matters. I just would have loved to have seen how close Kevin's drive would have gotten. I mean, it was maybe 10 feet high when it hit, but it was still
inside
moving.
circle too, for sure. I feel like.
I mean, just he blistered that. Simon, don't do it. Don't do it.
Calm down. I bet that basket won't do that again.
Yeah, you better watch it, buddy. And there's the ballerina kick for Paul. Something you always appreciate.
I love it.
Yeah, when I kick that back leg out.
Feeling a little nervous there, bud?
I don't know. Maybe.
Good birdie, man.
3 birdies and Simon not happy about a par, but it's just a par. It's not the worst thing in the world. Moving up to hole 14, the triple mandatory hole, par 3, 303 feet. Objective obviously just missed those 3 trees right there, and this last tree is right at the edge of the circle, so you'd like to miss that one too. Players usually going to go with a sidearm, try to skip it up the hill, and you can go be right, but we have a little bit of a tailwind. Trying to use that to our advantage here to just kind of check the disc up.
I think that was A2 again, right there. He throws so far sidearm. Like
he does.
You're also going kind of with a
ABRX3?
Yeah, overstable putt and approach.
Yeah.
That's crazy because I like to go driver there. I can't really get the...
Yeah, if there's a headwind at all, I'm going to throw my Thunderbird. And I went back and forth on this one a lot, but that with the tailwind, it's so easy to just throw the putter hard.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And Simon, a little bit frustrated from the prior hole, I think. I don't think we're going to get this in time. Yep, Simon just literally, without taking any time, ran up and jump putted it, and he jump putted it about 50 feet, so he's got 50 feet left.
And classic.
Little blow up there.
Classic little, well, not a classic, but
no, not a
take
classic.
your time.
Yeah,
kids. Take your time, kids.
Simon definitely plays with his heart on his sleeve, and that time it cost him a stroke. Almost cost him 2. Left side of these chains.
Yeah, and Calvin going kind of strategic move. Glasses, no glasses, glasses, no glasses. I can't keep up anymore. He's looking smooth with another bird.
Yeah,
Kev knocking it down.
And look at Kevin's the last 9 holes. Only 3 pars, 6 birdies. He's gone from 2 over to 4 under. He's actually leading the group now, and he's actually making a pretty good chase. Wow. Hole 15, par 4, 458 feet. It's just all decision time here. Most of these players on this card have plenty of power to go for it, but there's plenty of OB there with the fence on the right and obviously the street on the left. That middle area there is not out of bounds. It's just really a matter of keeping this disc in bounds, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Pretty stiff tailwind though, so if a player does want to go for it, it's a good time to do so.
I feel like Kevin could go for it with the sidearm.
That is kind of pushing it. I don't know. I mean, you think he's got 530 feet?
Yeah, with a little road skip.
Yeah, that would be absolutely gigantic. And I went back and forth so many times, sidearm, backhand, sidearm, backhand. I decided,
then how did
if I'm ever going to go for it, I'm going to go for it now.
Oh, wow. You went for it.
I definitely went for it. And I went Star Destroyer, catching a little fence and putting me right at like 37 feet.
That'll be your second eagle putt of the round.
It will be. Calvin just going a little bit lower than he liked, but he throws a disc so fast. He's also up there at probably 45 feet.
He threw that 4 feet off the ground.
I know. God, he just releases the disc in such a unique way for just, I mean, no one else throws like Calvin.
No.
The way that he gets that disc out and delivered is so fast.
If I threw it 4 feet off the ground, I wouldn't clear the ditch. Oh, no.
Simon just needing a backup or something to just slow him down, something that he can just sit there and think about. But we're actually playing pretty fast right now, which is not to Simon's favor.
Oh, no.
Going Spike Heiser. I was really surprised to see this, but it worked out pretty good. He's just outside the circle.
Huh.
Yeah, go figure.
If we start trying to figure out Simon now, it just...
No, we had many years to try that, and we haven't figured anything out yet.
Simon does what Simon wants to do.
Mm-hmm. And Calvin deciding I'm going to throw it really far just to lay that one up. I'm trying to figure out this wind here. Pretty strong left to right tailwind. Oh, boy.
It looks like you both had the same thing in mind.
Yeah.
Make it, and then...
That putt from right there is impossible. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
And Simon picking up the par save.
Well, this really didn't... He must have putted that hard because that didn't drop at all.
No, and he has that beautiful nose up. That just helps the carry for the wind. It's perfect for that wind right there. And he's also just mad enough that he doesn't care. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, oh, eagle putt, you know, and I'm not thinking, like, I got to make this putt. I don't know why. There's a difference there.
I love how Kevin is back to 5 under, though. Just an absolute grinder.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't let a bad start slow him down. He's got a lot of birdies in a row, and there's probably another one coming up right here on the second easiest hole on the course. Hole 16, par 4, 609 feet. Another hole that they just barely changed. They just brought the basket back a little bit. It has been elevated for the last couple of years, but it's just nestled not as far as it can go back. I think it could probably go back another 20 or 30 feet and bring that sidewalk into play. But really the biggest risk on this hole is going out of bounds right if a player wants to go with a roller. And a roller is going to probably be a pretty common play amongst the pro field, considering it's a pretty low ceiling for the air shot to get there, and it's also a really nice, strong tailwind.
Oh my God.
See, this is the mistake I saw. Oh,
And
no mistake.
It never hit a car. I could have swore that hit a car. Just pushed the outside edge of the side or the parking lot the whole way.
Oh, that must be very understable.
It is, and there's also a left to right tailwind, so it was kind of pushing the bottom flight plate over the whole time. Still, it was a dreadful shot. I was certain I was going out of bounds.
Sure, I had somebody on my card throw a roller, thought he hit a car, got up there, it was in bounds, actually hit a spectator in the leg. And the
how
guy
about
said,
that?
oh yeah, I was just trying to get in my car, hit my leg, right back in bounds.
And Simon is actually doing something I've never seen before, trying to go over these trees. And, I mean, almost clears them. He almost cleared it. And that, where he hit 50 feet up in the air, was 400 feet from the pin. I mean, it had every bit of the distance it needed if it could have just somehow found the 90% of the air that the tree has.
Yeah, wow. He made it way up there.
Uh-huh.
What's so funny?
I'm always laughing, dude. I don't know. I can't remember. Not funny is... Oh, that's funny. I guess, right? Leaving yourself a 15-foot putt.
It is funny, yeah.
Not really. Oh, I gotta stop laughing all the time.
Was he trying to make it?
I don't think so, but that was pretty awesome. Simon's in for the birdie.
I don't think there's a player in the field that steps up to that distance of a putt on a high rise with a little wind that's not a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
I really don't think so. I think we can all act cool, like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Simon's nervous about it at all. I think that he's totally checked out of nerves. I think he's still trying to obviously shoot well, but he, you know, when he gets in Simon mode where he just is like an autopilot, Starframe, another $25 to charity, of course. He just is just all about like getting it done. And, you know, he's a little frustrated right now, but he's still playing well, you know, even though he's a little bit out of his normal element. Hole 17, par 4, one of the hardest par holes on the course. It's just a beautiful hole. I think this one actually would probably go maybe on my dream course as well. I just absolutely love this hole. Very tricky. We've got a stiff headwind off the tee here. Most players are probably going to go for a forehand and try to get right up to the corner.
As far as my dream course, I'd lock this thing in a box, throw the key away, and never see it again.
Yeah. I just think this is a great, super challenging hole.
Very challenging, yeah.
And if you don't have a good forehand, then yeah, I could see you probably putting this thing in a box and never seeing it again.
Oh, this looks great.
Star Destroyer, skipping up to the right side of the hill. That's really about maybe 20 feet further would be perfect, but that's right around the range of what I'm really happy with. Calvin also going with his Destroyer. Getting a little bit wider, a little bit turned, but getting a good skip hyzer forward. It's in a decent place. The ceiling for that tree in front of him comes into play a little bit there, though. It can be quite difficult. And Simon showcasing that forehand. He self-proclaimed doesn't have a good forehand. That's a great shot.
I mean, all 4 shots were very, very well executed.
And this shot, though, is very tough. You can see a little bit of that low ceiling come into play. Super wide, and he has thrown this so well. Just needs to not skip.
Oh, go in.
I mean, wow. Incredible. I love it.
Looking with those sly eyes.
Yeah, I see you.
Oh, boy. Good lift.
And a good overstability coming in right there. Hitting land and jumping back in the water, unfortunately.
Why does Kevin look so strong right there?
I don't know. Maybe because his entire family is football coaches and he is strong.
Okay. Lift.
Oh. Kevin! Oh!
Getting skinny right there.
Yeah, I don't think it didn't look like it came close to hitting the spotter from where we were, but right there,
definitely,
maybe tickled his belly button. And I'm actually going with a new disc. This is the first throw in tournament with the new Star Invictus. And
good result.
Yeah, good result right there.
You guys have played this hole very well, aside from
a slightly errant approach from Calvin, but still hitting land. And that is a great hit there. And look at this stretch from Kevin Jones. He has birdied the last 5 holes, 6 of the last 7.
Oh, I see that Uli stamp on the bottom of that.
Ooh, boy. I don't know.
Calvin to save the par, and he doesn't, so that's
like
a bogey.
The worst sound. I hate that sound.
It's like a hammer from a judge, like
a hammer landing on your heart.
Nice birdie. I mean, 3 birds, 1 bogue. That's awesome, I feel like.
Quite a few players were somehow able to pick up the birdie. 21 players in our 115-player field. But it is no small feat to pick up that birdie. And speaking of tough birdies, we are off to the last hole of the course and the hardest hole on the course, hole 18. They've changed this one, but this is the first of the 3 changes. They brought this one 30 feet closer to the water. Now it's at the ridge of this hillside. So no longer are the days where you can just throw a safe hyzer out there and have a pretty safe putt. Even if you do throw it close, it is a scary putt looking down at that pin.
Kevin
just going to X1, spiking it into the hillside. That's a good tee shot. And on a day with a strong headwind, as you can see, there's really no one going for this pin.
Look out! Look out!
And that's out of bounds, folks. So that's not great.
It's a mistake you see often here because of the wind. People definitely don't want to lose their disc in the water. And it's very intimidating to do what Calvin just did, which is put it straight over the water.
That is 100% commitment with a really overstable disc, and he executes the shot to perfection.
Typically, you're throwing a disc that you trust, and you don't want to throw it over the water because all of a sudden...
Well, hold on a second, because Simon going with a PD2, and he's going straight at the pin, and that needs to put the brakes on, and it just barely does. He stays in bounds. He's a little bit concerned, as he should be, because once it goes past that hill, you really have no idea, but phenomenal
That's
shot
so far.
that rewards
it is so far.
the aggressive play
The skip off the water shot?
Look at that. He actually said that he meant to hit. Oh, yeah. He wanted to hit it earlier.
Really? He was trying to skip it.
I don't know. I'm going with the AVR X3, and I'm just trying to. The one mistake I don't want to make is doing what Kevin did and hitting the water. I'm just trying
parking it?
Yeah, I'm not trying to park it, folks. What do you think?
Well, you did well. You did well,
I did a
Jerm.
great job because I've thrown it to 40 feet. Oh, look at that touch. I envy that.
He Reed-for-scared it. That's who did it over at, yeah.
Did you say Reed-for-scared?
Reed-for-scara.
Are you saying Friscara?
Yeah.
All right. That's not what I would call it, but all right.
What do you call it?
Friscara?
Friscara.
Dude, you're saying something different than I'm hearing.
Anyways, nice layup.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. I'll take a 5 on this last one, and
Oh, man.
not good.
Was it a ripping tailwind there?
It was absolutely ripping, and this is a little bit of a scary putt that Calvin
Sure.
gets over the rim.
And that's one thing to say is once you do go deep where you are,
Yeah.
then you have that ripping tailwind and you have to put it so high over the basket, and that's so scary with the water right behind it. So
This hole saw 0 2s, a 7, 4 6s, a slew of 5s, myself included. You're welcome. And like I said, not a single 2 for the day. If the wind is not just ripping into our faces, I think we might see some 2s in the last 2 rounds, but none to speak of today. And that is going to do it for the first round action. Kevin Jones coming in with the best round on our card at 7 under. Simon right behind him at 5, and Calvin and myself at 4 under par. And we're going to check out that fire emoji. Paul Macbeth doing great things in the very windy round with 11 under par. Matt Bell, the Woods technician. Garrett Girthy, Eric Oakley going to be on the lead card in round 2. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the first round. Thank you, Paul.
yeah,
Thank you to the JomezPro Founders Club, Anthony Palmisano. You're the man. Love you, man.
he is the man.
Yeah, he is. He's a good dude.
Absolutely.
I would imagine. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Round 1. Check out round 2 tomorrow.